Hey folks, David Stewart here. Hope you guys are having a good day. Mic's a little hot. I'm gonna bring it down just a bit here. Anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. What I thought I'd start by talking about a little bit is what I call the GoldenEye effect. What is the GoldenEye effect? Well, it is slightly related to Diablo, which I'm gonna play here, but it's the I don't want to call it a misvaluation, but it's including in the valuation of a thing the context in which you as an individual experienced that thing that I think makes people overrate certain things. And the best example of this is actually GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64, hence where I'm calling it the GoldenEye effect. What is the GoldenEye effect? Well, the truth is that GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64 is actually not a very good game. It's not very fun to play today. I went back and played it a couple years ago just to see if it held up, and it really didn't. It's a nauseating experience. It runs with very poor frame rate. And honestly, like, the solo missions are not super well constructed. It's a whole lot less fun to play than, say, Doom, which holds up very well. So when you're comparing it especially to the other 3D shooter games that were around at the time, GoldenEye is really mediocre. It's not terrible. Like, there are definitely worse shooter games that have fallen into obscurity for good reasons. But when you're comparing it to something like Doom or Quake or the Dark Forces games or any of those, it really falls short as a single-player experience and actually as a multiplayer experience. So what people really remember fondly about GoldenEye was the multiplayer. And while it was technically impressive that they were able to do 4-player split-screen multiplayer on the Nintendo 64 with like 3D rendered graphics, that's technically very impressive for the hardware at the time. While that's impressive, that mode isn't even very fun. Rather, what I think people are nostalgic for when it comes to GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64 is what the game facilitated. The game facilitated male bonding. It facilitated friends playing a game together. So what we're actually fond of when it comes to GoldenEye is not the game itself, but rather what the game allowed us to experience, which was 4 people getting together and having a really good time playing a game, being competitive, joking. You'd play GoldenEye, get some pizza, whatever you're gonna play. Mario Kart, same thing. Mario Kart 64, I think holds up, but I think what makes it good or great in memory is really what it facilitated. And especially as time goes on, we've had less and less of those experiences. It was the same thing, I think, with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. They came out with this remastered version of the game, which honestly was pretty true to the original game. People didn't like it because it turns out what was fun about the original Crystal Chronicles was you and 3 other friends with your Game Boy Advances hooking into a GameCube and playing this little action RPG together. It was really the act of multiple people playing a game together in the living room, physically present with each other, talking to each other, seeing each other, hearing each other. It's just a different experience versus something like an MMO or anything else that's like that. As time went on, we started to lose those experiences. So of course we're more nostalgic for the 4-player experiences and the 4-player competitive GoldenEye compared to Yore. Now, what does this have to do with Diablo? I'm going to play Diablo 4 in a little bit. I find Diablo 4 a very disappointing game. I'm going to give a full review of it, but I thought I'd go ahead and stream it because I can just kind of freely talk about a lot of my thoughts with Diablo 4. Diablo 3 is a massively underrated game. It's actually pretty fun. It launched in what I would consider a pretty bad state, but it eventually ended up in a pretty good state. And in fact, Diablo 4 is just a reskinning of Diablo 3. All the Diablo 3 mechanics are there, including the skills. Like Sorcerer is just a copy of the Diablo 3 Wizard down to the skills and the playstyle. Everything's the same. Champion packs, affixes, same affixes. It's just a very gray Diablo 3. I have a lot of pleasant memories of Diablo 3, and the most pleasant I have were actually playing couch co-op Diablo 3 with some of my friends on a couple of different occasions. after I had moved from LA up to Central California, we kind of had a bachelor party with my brother-in-law, and what we did for that is we ended up playing like through all of the campaign of Diablo 3, like 4-player couch co-op on the PlayStation 4, and it worked amazingly well. It was a lot of fun. The interface was not perfect for that because if you had somebody who was kind of like anal about their gear, you got a lot of gear in Diablo 3, same thing in Diablo 4, so you'd be constantly pulling up a menu to decide what gear to put on. But they had a lot of things where you could just press a button and equip whatever dropped, and like, so it was really quick and it was really, really fun. So you can have those experiences again. It's just a lot harder to find those experiences. I would say the 4-player couch co-op Diablo 3 gave me vibes of like playing arcade gauntlet games. It was a ton of fun. Meanwhile, Diablo 4, I have lots of friends who are playing it. I have yet to play with another person. It's pretty much an online solo experience, and that's just not very good. There's a lot of friction that comes to trying to play Diablo 3 that to me is very annoying, and it stopped me from playing the game. The reason that I haven't had a review out before now is that it's just annoying to play Diablo 4. I was on vacation for 10 days. It runs great on the Steam Deck, but for me to get in there, I have to exit. Every time you want to play, you pretty much have to exit the battle.net client, open it back up, update the game every single time, launch it, hope that you connect. If there's any hiccup on the internet, you die, because that's just how it works. Like, I was playing a little bit last night to get some footage, and I died because I got 5 seconds of lag. Now, the game without that lag is not particularly hard. In fact, it's pretty easy most of the time. But 5 seconds of lag when you were on a boss, they can just smash you 5 times in a row. It just kills you. You never had this problem with the console version of Diablo 3 because it could run on your machine. You really didn't have to have that always online experience. So, as an online experience, Diablo 4 gives me all the downsides with none of the upsides. I'm not playing with my friends. I'm not playing with any other person. You see other people walking past you, but there's no human interaction. It's like an antisocial MMO light, or MMO light. And I think even if you buy the console version, I think the most you can have for couch co-op is 2, not 4. That 4-player couch co-op was a lot of fun because once you get to a group of 4, like with GoldenEye, you're having a bonding experience with a group. It's not just you and another person. It's a lot of fun. So it's anyway. So that's my thoughts on the GoldenEye effect. Of course, I'd like to hear what you guys think about the GoldenEye effect. There's people who will still argue with me to say GoldenEye's a great game. I'm like, go back and play it. And then compare it to 2 things. Compare it to just modern gaming. It doesn't hold up, in my opinion. Very few games from the Nintendo 64 hold up. I think it was probably Nintendo's worst generation was the N64. Not only does it not hold up, compare it to the other things that were out at the time. Like, when was the launch of GoldenEye for Nintendo 64? Right? When did it launch? 1997. So in 1997, you had Doom 2, Quake, Duke Nukem 3D, I think at least 2 Marathon games. You had Dark Forces 1, certainly. Dark Forces 2, I don't think came out until like 1999. But you had a really big selection of 3D shooters that were just massively superior in gameplay to GoldenEye. GoldenEye did have 3D rendered graphics. It was able to run on a console. So I think a lot of people remember GoldenEye because of that 4-player experience, but also because there was a huge group of friends I had that were console players. They didn't have any PC games. They'd never played a 3D shooter before GoldenEye. So it was kind of amazing. Despite the janky controls, it worked because they had never experienced, Doom 2. They had never experienced anything that was really good in terms of 3D shooters. So their comparison wasn't there when they bought it, and then you have nostalgia because you enjoyed it at the time. There's nothing wrong with that, and it did facilitate a lot of great experiences. But we can have those great experiences now. Like, you could get friends together and go skeet shooting or something, or do couch co-op Diablo 3. There's lots of opportunities for that, but I feel like the opportunities were best in the late 90s to early 2000s, and then started to diminish as we've become more and more online, and things have gotten to be more and more like live service games and MMO light. So anyway, that's that. Yeah, proximity mines were crazy. Anyway, we'll jump in. We'll play Diablo 3. I'll check out the chat a little bit, and we'll see what's going on. Let's see if I have this. There we are. All right, that'll look good here in a second. This is live. Yes, I'm live. Nostalgia goggles can be a hell of a thing. First shooter on console makes it memorable. It's bog standard. It's not even standard. I think it's mediocre. I think it's, you know, it's not even that. It's not good even compared to something like Turok. Made a character that shot himself in the foot so his friends could heal him. For training, you see. Blizzard's Walking Dead now, like Disney and others. It's captured. Yeah, Diablo 4 is a really soulless game. We'll talk about it as I play it here. You know, the thing is, like, it should be optional to play with people. You shouldn't have to have an online-only game to play what is essentially a single-player experience, something that's designed to be a single-player experience. The problems with Diablo 4 are actually really deep, and so I will get into this when I get to the review, which I've already written. I actually wrote like kind of a script for it to get my thoughts down. The aesthetics of Diablo 3 are really bad. I know people wanted, like, I don't know, they thought Diablo 3 was too cartoony, which I guess, you know, that's fine. Everybody can, I didn't think it was that cartoony, but it did have a certain style to it that was very colorful. Well, Diablo 4 is colorless. Everything is gray. Even the blood looks completely, like, without color. So they went with, like, how horrific and gross can we make things? Let's make everything a Cannibal Corpse cover, but gray. The thing is, you get really tired of yet another zone that's just an endless expanse of grayness. Even the snow is gray. The snow is not even white. It's like, oh, it's dark. Dark doesn't mean aesthetically pleasing, and it really doesn't mean scary. You know, you just spend a lot of time walking through empty spaces of grayness. The dungeons are all gray. The churches are all gray. The enemies are gray. Even the spell effects are gray. So the aesthetics for Diablo 4 are just really bad. And because they're bad, because they're so boring, because they're so colorless, we end up with a problem where it becomes extremely, I'm going to turn this down a little bit, becomes extremely boring to play through the game after a while. It's just not very interesting. You're not excited to see a new zone because it looks exactly the same as every other zone. I think we'll do the seasonal character here. You know, I held off on like playing my regular character because I wasn't going to have time to play it. You know, there's so much friction to playing this game, and when it's late at night, I want to relax. I end up playing Final Fantasy 16, which is a better game in every way that a game could be better, in my opinion. So, yeah. Anyway, so you can see everything's very gray and desaturated. Like, my character has a red shirt on, and it doesn't even really stand out because it's everything is so dark. I do like the shadows, though. You know, it's like, look at all of the grayness. Even the snow is gray. The rocks are gray. The blood is gray. The logs and the fire are gray. Like, we need to go dark. So, okay. We'll just take all the color out of everything. That's what we'll do. Let me check. Let me find my chat here. Hold on. I can see you guys. Let me kill these guys. All right, cool. We got a staff here. Where is my chat? There it is. All right. Pop you down here. And I can see you better. All right. Get a little frame hiccups whenever I like tab out of the game. And then there's these events. The best strategy is simply to avoid all the enemies and walk directly to whatever your objective is in this game. You know, that's generally the wisest and most efficient way to play the game. If you're stopping to do events, you're not going to get a reward for them. The rewards are terrible. It's just more bland, boring gear. It's like the most boring gear system you can imagine. Diablo 3 was the same. Had very boring gear. The gear only became interesting in endgame. And I'm pretty sure it's the exact same with Diablo 3. Like, you have to do this long campaign to get through all the garbage. You have to do the boring campaign to get to the, quote, interesting endgame. If it is even interesting. We'll go down to that town first. Here we go. Tornadoes! A high tunic, which I'm just going to turn into parts. You know, like, you can stop and kill these guys, but it doesn't really, like, benefit you. I kind of like playing Sorcerer because you can just drop Hydras and it'll kill all the enemies behind you quite nicely. I should go to the town first. That way I can teleport out of this next dungeon really easily. Going to town here. You almost ran into Cannibal Corpse guy at a hotel pool deck. Oh, that might be George Fisher. He was a huge World of Warcraft fan. And they even had characters named after him, and they took those out because Blizzard's a bunch of pussies now, and like are terrified of somebody calling them a racist on Twitter. You know, I can open this chest, but what do I get? Just garbage, right? Like, what's the point of even opening the chest? Like, I don't see one. I'll kill these guys, I guess. Yeah, look, you can, like, gather herbs. This is exactly what I want to do in Diablo, right? I want to gather herbs. Doesn't this feel like Diablo to you? Gathering the herbs? Oh, I'm going to make a video on how to actually submit it. Yeah, I have to find a book that I want to demonstrate that with. To demonstrate, like, how to publish stuff on Amazon and draft to digital. So, I don't have a book that I am going to do that with right now. But I will soon, so then I'll just show it with that. That way you can see the steps versus me showing a book I already, like, published. I wish I could publish, like, physical flip books on Amazon. At least this little section makes you kind of explore. But most of the time you're not exploring anything. Do I have an ability here? Let's see here. What do I want more of? More tornadoes. I remember this zone. I'm playing a Fire Mage. Fire Mage is really good. My first character was Fire Mage. Like the Hydras, it's the same as Fire Wizard from Diablo 3, which was good, which was a lot of fun to play. Oh, we got an elite here. Let's see if I can run away from these guys. Ah, more elites. Let's get away from this guy. I think I don't have any rings yet on this character. Kill 3 elite monsters within 30 seconds. I guess I got that one then. Oh, cool. I got a... Let's see what kind of stuff we got here. Nope. Well, I could use the ring. Let's see. If the arrows go up, you pretty much just do this. Or compare it. No, the staff is better. Alright. Anything better? No, just armor. Let's see if the guy's in here. Was he in this gully? I don't remember. No. Are you able to see my question and comment? What's the question? I personally would expect the PlayStation 6 to be driven by AI. Is that a question? I'm not sure if that's your question or not. So people throw AI around, but there's no actual artificial intelligence. Part of it is that we actually can't define intelligence. It's like, I'm making an artificial intelligence. What's intelligence? Oh! You just fall into circularities. Am I actually having to explore a zone? Those guys. Maybe you have to go, what? Down? Or, let's try left first. I don't remember. And then what would be the point of driving a console with AI? Like, to do what exactly? Like, to customize your experience? I mean, that's an idea, is like you use a complex algorithm that responds to the player to make the experience unique. We saw that in Left 4 Dead with the director. You were stuck in an illusion. All of this, this is another thing about the storytelling, is like virtually all of the story, like 80% of the story is superfluous to the conflict. If that makes any sense. Like, this is basically a side quest. So I assume you won't be in favor of AI and robot rights. That won't ever happen. That will never happen. We don't even know how the human brain works. And it's unlikely that we're going to magically discover it. I think what's more likely than AI's becoming self-aware is like civilizational collapse before that. Like a dark age. You know. If somehow, like, you could, if you set your mind to it, I bet you could create an algorithm that could pass the Turing test. That a person couldn't detect it was an AI. But that doesn't mean it's intelligent. Or it has consciousness. You know, we can't really wrap our minds around consciousness or spiritual knowledge. And how these things work with us. Why are you telling me this? I'm still not sure what the plot is. So the conflict is Lilith is back. We spend the entire game trying to figure out what she's doing. And kind of learning about how everybody's bad. The angels are bad. Nothing is good. Inarius is bad. You know, Christianity's bad is basically the message. Because they wear the trappings of Christianity while giving you what's called the Manichaean worldview, that like the world arises between a conflict between like light and dark or good and evil. It's also Gnostic, like Inarius and Lilith secretly created the world and hid it from the angels and the demons. You know, none of it's Christian really, but it wears the trappings of it. And so you have to interpret it a little bit as critical of Christianity. You have these knights penitent who are basically living a lie, being led by, a leader that's not just mistaken, he is evil. That's Inarius. Inarius is a bad guy. So what's the point of fighting Lilith? Maybe Lilith is the good guy the whole time, right? I think the message is really like people are the good guys and not really the church, not really the demons. It's a message. It's not the worst message I can think of. But Sanctuary is like a refuge from the eternal war. It seems like hell, Versus Diablo 3, which had a really epic story, where you even, you went to hell and you went to heaven. Diablo 3 was really epic by comparison to this game. This game is not very epic.
But let's not give up hope. All we need is one book, one spell, to help us cross the Black Lake and stop Lilith.
Yeah, what I see, as far as another Dark Age, I could see AI creating another Dark Age. Go around. Okay. Do I have to talk to her? Or can I just go? Alright, we'll just go. So basically, think of how programming works, right? Software is already really bad and it's full of junk code. So you offload that to an AI. You start automating the code. Then what happens? Well, eventually, the AI loses track of how to write the code because it learns from people. And once people are no longer in the equation, AI learns from other AI and it actually degrades what it's doing. It doesn't improve it. So eventually you'll have a problem where no one really remembers how to program. The knowledge for programming gets lost because it gets so heavily offloaded to AI that when the AI can no longer efficiently do it, you have to rebuild the technology from the ground up. It'd be like if everybody forgot how to make light bulbs, how long would it take for us to figure out how to make light bulbs again? Well, we have books to help us. We have things like that. So we'd have to kind of relearn how programming works and what we're doing because we've offloaded too much of it to AI. So you can have things like that happen where basically people forget how to do things.
It's the same seal as before.
This character is a throwaway character in this. Every character in the story is just the equivalent of a quest giver in WoW. Are not important. So I could see AI doing that, which is that people rely on it too heavily. Rather than using it as a useful tool, they start looking at it as this is the thing this is how you program, is you tell an AI what to do. That's what programming is. Similar to how people can think, they could start thinking that writing is telling an AI what to write. And that there's no actually writing the sentences out. But as AI feeds off other AI, it becomes a degraded experience. There's not enough original input in it. It's kind of like the problem with inflation on a faster time scale, which is that natural selection reduces genetic diversity. So you have to have another source of where the genetic variation is coming from for slow evolution to actually work. If you've never thought about this before or heard someone debate about it, it's one of the problems with natural selection theory, or some of the modern genetic and Darwinian synthesis ideas. Is where does the extra genetic information come from? Does it come entirely from mutations? Well, how come we don't observe as many mutations as are necessary to allow for this kind of evolution to take place? So you start to get that problem, I guess, accelerated with AI, which is that there's not enough there's not enough input for the AI to do it. So maybe the AI can keep doing what it's always done, but it may not be able to necessarily do new things that you would want it to do. Which is kind of how software works. Software is about like increasing the features of the software, let's say. All right, we got a boss here. Chort, Herald of Lilith. Whoa. Let's see if we can beat this boss. I seem to remember dying to this boss playing Sorcerer. I think she does like a firewall ability. There it is. Oh yeah, she does like a lightning ability like that. It's kind of cool. I'll just stand here and like hit her. Where is she? There she is. So she does that. Has like a fire orb that does stuff. I'll avoid using our potions. At every one of those little arrows, she'll drop potions, and so you can just kind of freely use a potion. I think this was the point in the game, about level 10 to 15, where it was kind of challenging, and it got a lot easier at like level 25. Yeah, let me get out of the way of that. Just smack you down. There's that. Got her like dazed here. Fortunately, like, the potions don't really stay down between phases. Dodge that. Some more fire orbs. Kill these fire orbs. Oops. I'm not even really having to use potions here. Alright, I think she's going down. There we go. Garbage! We got garbage from her. Isn't that lovely? Why was a demon guarding this book? I guess we'll never know. I should take this back to Nerel. Do I have to take it back to her in the dungeon? Oh, I do. Or does this go? This teleports me back? Maybe? Let's find out. Yes. Okay. Thank you for the shortcut, Blizzard.
Interesting.
I guess you could use AI to create more realistic, procedurally generated story and gameplay. There you go. That's what I'd use it for. Change the experience more while making it feel unique each time and not cookie cutter. That was the whole point of like Diablo games, was you kind of had a random element to it that made it so every time you explored, you were finding different lands and stuff. It's not really the case with this one. The maps are the same. Like the overworld map is like a map, but it feels procedurally generated in a bad way.
It's all we have. My mother will help us through. Meet me down there.
It'd be like someone trying to write like an AI intentionally. All right. Where are we? Oh, I'm gonna go back up there. Okay. Back to Govashad. It's what I noticed the past decade is that many gamers want better immersion, and perhaps AI could be better doing that. That's a good way. Yeah, that's true. I would agree with that actually. Like you could create. So people are using AI stuff. I mean, we're using AI as a catch-all term. I hate calling it AI because it's not intelligent in the way a human being is intelligent. Right? That's my big point, I guess. Like I hate people thinking that AI is a consciousness like a human being. It's not. You know, it's like a super advanced algorithm. It's a way of processing data to create hopefully unique, unique. What's the word I'm looking for here? Unique situations. Compare. And 44 item power. All right. Anything here that's good? Nope. All right. All items. All right. Let's get out of here. On to the next place. So my inventory does not get full. Yeah, people are using these programs like, voice talking programs. Apple already has one now that will just like if you buy one of my books on Apple Books, you can just have an AI narrate it, which is really cool. Now that's not as good as I would do making the ebook myself, acting the characters out or having a professional actor do it. But it's certainly like a labor saver if you're just needing to hear the content of a book and you don't really care, and you need to hear it in a human voice, and you don't really care if it's really well acted fiction or something like that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of potential benefit to that, because it's like, oh yeah, obviously an actor would be better, or like somebody who's a professional reader would be better. But if you can't afford that, then the AI allows for people to have your audiobook. Like, that's amazing. AI helps to spread information in that case. It's really good. Like, it's a huge benefit. Wait, is this a Lilith statue? Okay. All right. Here we go. It's a huge benefit. They're using that with games. Like now there's like an AI Skyrim plugin that will not only make the characters speak all their lines, they'll use the voice actors as a sample, and they will, create new lines. They'll react to you like, an AI chat program would. And they'll say new things to you. You can just talk to them, and then they will respond with, like, hopefully original dialogue. That, that's cool. Like, that could make it so much more immersive and so much more fun, depending on how you executed the programming. It could be really fun. Like, I think a lot of that stuff is good. Or creating new art assets on the fly based on the art assets that are already there. It just lets you multiply your work. Look, here's some other players. These guys are level 8. Look at all the grayness, brown grayness. Where am I going? Going up this way, I guess. Silvered Edgelands. I don't even know what I need to be doing with the ore. We can go up around this way. I think there is a Lilith statue around here. This guy's got a horse. So I take it you didn't side with the railroad in Fallout 4. I never played through Fallout 4. I got bored. I could barely get through the intro. It was not for me. I'm not a big fan of the Fallout universe, to be honest. I liked the first 2 games. I like Fallout 3 okay, but I'm a much bigger fan of Elder Scrolls than Fallout. Fallout is just, it's very boring looking to me. It's anti-inspiring. I don't find it a lot of fun. And I think Fallout 3 was better than New Vegas. I'll just say it. People like New Vegas. There was some fun content in New Vegas for sure. It felt like an expansion of Fallout 3 in a good way. Not in a bad way.
I'm looking for a Horadrim named Roman. An old friend has sent me.
At this hour, I'd wager he's in the keep. Check with the guard at the door.
Just don't make AI sentient. How can AI? Well, okay, sentient means feeling. I think we mean sapient, like wise, like really like a person. The problem with that is that we don't know from whence our own natures arise. We don't know how our consciousness arises from the brain, or what it has to do with the brain. We know how neurons work. We know certain parts of the brain do different things, but we don't really know how the brain works. And so it'd be far more difficult, I think, to make a replication of a human consciousness than people realize. Yes, you can make really efficient data processors. You can make things that draw new art based on existing art. All that stuff is awesome. But having that program turn into a person who thinks for themselves and comes up with new original ideas and considers the meaning of their existence, and that's a much bigger leap than what we have, because we don't really understand ourselves. We have things like psychology that pretend to understand the human psyche, but not really.
As the old men finally come down from the mountain, a warning. An ancient
Again, this is all like a side quest. None of this has anything to do with Lilith. You just chase her around and she reveals nothing. It's a bad story, in my opinion. What do you think of the Band of Misfits story trope? I like it. I mean, it's classic from Ivanhoe, Robin Hood. Absolutely classic trope. There's a reason. I see it all over modern writing, especially when used for diversity as our strength and chosen family messages. How does this trope apply to Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship? Well, they're not really misfits. They're just representatives of a diverse Middle Earth that, I think Tolkien's message, when you have this conflict between like the dwarves and the elves, Legolas and Gimli are a microcosm of that conflict. But they become best friends because they recognize not only the difference between each other, but the mutual beauty and strength in each other, so that like the respect and love between them grows because they are open to understanding each other. That's a great message. That's not like that's not a bad message at all. I think it's great. I think modern writers tend to lose sight of that because they forget about the love part and the mutual understanding. Right, like if you really wanted to write a diversity as our strength thing, you'd have, like a southern white boy, and, basically it would be like Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2 has a diverse cast of people that actually like and respect each other, right, as human beings. So in the face of peril, you put aside your differences and you realize your common humanity, the strengths. You can recognize the strengths, weaknesses, differences between people without dehumanizing them. I think with the like Band of Misfits that you see in the modern trope, it's really about the in-group, out-group, and not about people being diverse and special and we're all God's children kind of thing. It's more like the jocks are bad and the nerds are good. It's Revenge of the Nerds. And Revenge of the Nerds got everything right except who the bad guys were, because the nerds were the bad guys in Revenge of the Nerds. They engage in like really awful behavior, including like sexual assault. So when next time you watch Revenge of the Nerds, realize that the writers who are probably self-identifying with the nerds are probably not the people you need to be sympathizing with.
Welcome to Firebreak Manor, traveler.
I'm here about the incident. Donan gave me permission to look around.
Oh, I take it you didn't help the Geth in Mass Effect. I think I did. think I did because I liked the Geth and I liked that they were, you know, trying to live on their own. It was a cool idea, you know. But as to how that idea works in science fiction and the thoughts that it provokes versus people thinking that like that's going to happen, I don't really think so, because I think we have to learn more about ourselves before that can happen. And I don't see us making a lot of progress on that front, believe it or not. I think we're forgetting things we already knew about ourselves. I mean, the entire field of psychology, not to throw it all under the bus, but it's kind of like an attempt to reconstruct traditional Christianity and its view of sin and the way sin affects people. And I'm talking traditional Christianity, Orthodox and Catholic, especially, say, medieval Catholic, where this emphasis is really strong. It's still very strong today, but you'll find it a little bit stronger in the Orthodox Church. The idea of sin is not something you do, it's something you have. It's something which affects you. It's something which affects other people. It's something which has to be healed. All of these themes you find in psychology to a degree, but it's like we're trying to, in a secular sense, reconstruct what philosophers and theologians knew hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
And I know you, Turner. Old, tired, each day a struggle to live up to your own legacy.
What do you want with me?
Astaroth.
She's dead.
Astaroth can...
One of the ways you know Inarius is not a good guy is he had children with this woman, with this demon.
Away, demon. I deny you.
You have grown so frail.
I recognize this guy's voice from Winnie the Pooh, I think. Scooby-Doo is a good example of a diverse cast. There's Jack, the girl, Jock, the girl, the nerd, the stoner, and his dog. Yeah, the same thing with Ninja Turtles. You have a jock, a nerd, a cool guy, and then like a street smart guy. You have those four in a lot of like stuff from the 70s and 80s. You create your like cast of characters, your support characters based on that. Even Predator has that. Predator's got like a jock, a nerd, street smart guy, you know, spiritual guy. Like every person embodies like a different part of that, like a different what we call character archetype. Alright, let's kill all these guys. And I usually like the music, but I really dislike this music right here. It's quite annoying to me. Forester's axe. Alright. Goatmen.
Dare come so close to the estate before.
In high school, we listened to an audiobook called Every Drop of Blood about a southern white boy who makes friends with a freed slave boy. Well, you could also read Huck Finn, right? That's also that.
I don't fully understand how, but it isn't the first time. Full of surprises, aren't you? No wonder you caught Lorath's attention. Well, now you understand my predicament. A daughter of hatred in my own home. She must be furious I cast her out. That painting on your wall.
Do you think Stranger of Paradise or Final Fantasy 16 is better action RPG? Final Fantasy 16 I like better. But Stranger of Paradise is a lot of fun too, though. It's harder. Stranger of Paradise is a lot harder. I'll stream Final Fantasy 16 at night time probably. My kids might come home, so I didn't want to stream that one on the TV.
I resisted her, so she might question them about the demon next.
Path of Exile. It's a Diablo clone. It's free, doesn't suck, looks good. Path of Exile is good.
That's true.
Yeah.
They must have seen her.
Oh, thank you for the super chat. What do you think of the? Okay, I already answered that. I think it's a good trope. There's no reason to not do it, but you just want to be good at it. You don't want to make it about in-group and out-group. So that's my answer. Make it about who the people are and their friendships, rather than making it about like an in-group and an out-group. You know, if you make it about an in-group and an out-group, like, you know, Revenge of the Nerds, that gets a little old. And then you're automatically making the out-group evil, like the jocks are evil or whatever. You're automatically making a moral judgment about that versus something like the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club doesn't make those judgments about an in-group or an out-group. It's everyone against the principle. It's everyone against authority. You've got the street smart guy. You've got the nice girl. You've got a jock. You've got all these people who don't get along normally having like a human interactions and a friendship as fellow people because they're forced to do detention on a Saturday. It's a really simple setup, but the Breakfast Club does a really good job with it. It was all over the 80s, very popular in the 80s, and for good reason, because we always want to feel like we are sharing something with other people. We always want to see the humanity in other people. I think that's actually our nature, and we want people to be part of our in-group, and we want to be part of other people's in-group. I think things like Revenge of the Nerds are more revenge fantasies by nerds, if that makes any sense. My dog's barking constantly. Stupid dog. I think that's a Lilith statue. That one? Nope. Just a log. I'm always like looking out for the statues. This one. Oh, it's faded black. Nope. Something here. Oh, these guys. Killing stuff for me. This is D-Nice. D-Nice. The most efficient way to play this game is just to walk in between objectives like Diablo 3. Just ignore everything else if you can. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Do you know someone or service I could submit my story to get them to do all the work of self-publishing for me? No, and you probably wouldn't want to. You can use Drafted Digital to automate it to pretty much every platform, which is what I would recommend. But the process is pretty simple once you do it. What you need to self-publish is you need a cover, you need a blurb, you need to have an idea what your keywords are going to be. And you could change all that stuff after the fact. So it doesn't really, like, you're not, you're not, it's nothing you can't fix later. You can change everything about your book, including the manuscript. You know, you need a Microsoft Word file that has your document. And then you can decide as you go through it what you want to price it at. And I can give some advice for that. Usually for your first book, you probably want to keep it at 99 cents. Keep it cheap enough that people can buy in and feel okay that they got a good deal, even if there's some flaws with it.
At least there's not another night.
You know? So.
At least it is us who will protect this village.
This is so silly. Like, this is so cringe. This dialogue here. Good Lord. So yeah, okay, there's a fog uphill. Go do stuff. Go do side quests.
Are you here to help us ward them off?
I
Scripts are never finished. They're taken away. Thank you. Yeah. So I will do a video on it. I'll think of something to publish in the next week. Something that I have sitting around that I can just show the process for and maybe not finish the publication part up. Just so that you could see me do every part rather than see the thing completed. I'll do it on Draft to Digital and on Amazon. If you do it on Draft to Digital, it's very simple. They'll even format the ebook for you and put stuff in it. It's really simple. So I can't recommend Draft to Digital enough for people who are just starting at this, because it'll put it on every platform. You can even put it on Amazon for you, but you probably want to do Amazon yourself so you have a little more control over what's going on. Right. Where are we going? Over there. Off we go. Now, see, this zone is different because instead of gray snow, it's gray mud with gray grass. And instead of polar bears, it's grizzly bears. And porcupines that shoot their quills at you. What's the quickest way? Down. South. Impalers. Look at all of these unique zones. This one is gray, and the other one was also gray, but this one has some very slightly green grass in it. Valley of Passing. Burial cairn up ahead, is this it? I'm guessing it is. While he opens the door, we'll have a little encounter here, and it'll all be good. Turn into a werewolf for my... Oh yeah, I have some ability points. Do I have enough? Ooh, I almost have enough to get that. Let's do that, and then what do we have here? Poison Creeper. Oh, I like the sound of that. Wolves! No, I like wolves, yes. Give me some minions. Yeah, this game could have been in black and white and had more personality. Exactly. At least Diablo 3 had some freaking colors. I will say, like, the graphics are very sharp. Like, they look good, in a sense. Like, they look sharp. Except when it zooms in and you can actually see the grass moving. Like, it looks really bad. The grass and bushes look pretty bad, but it's okay. I forgive it. In World of Warcraft, they don't move at all. They just are static. Alright. Come on, Wolfie. Come on, wolves. Man, Druid is not a very difficult class here. I feel pretty powerful. Even though I'm only really using like 2 spells here. Like a heal. Alright, here comes the boss. Here he comes. And he's dead. Warcraft 3 was good. I don't know how much video game writers get paid. I don't think it's that much, but it does feel like too much. I mean, the thing is, they could hire me and make me make the story. You know, I get a lot of offers to do video game writing, and I usually end up turning it down. I did do like a little bit of work once, but like, you know, they had already written the game, and they wanted me to fix the story. So I was going through and rewriting all the script because the dialogue was bad. Or just, it wasn't even that bad. It was just, it could have been better. You know? It needed some script work, that's all. They're like, we feel like you're working too slow, so we're going to go with someone else. Okay, that's fine. It still took them like years to come out with the game, though. You've never been here, okay.
Erida would not have barred the path of the dead like this.
The spirit should be free to roam within the earth. Yeah, so what happens when you die? What's the point of this church? There's no god to get closer to. They have art that says, like, Inarius will bring you to heaven. But he clearly doesn't do that. It's a false church. And the spirits just kind of roam in a halfway point, like in pagan times. I think this game, like, really ruins the cosmology of Diablo. I'm just going to say that. I feel like the cosmology of Diablo was better before Diablo 4. I think they just are not sure what they're doing with it at this point. Wardstone altar. A grave bloated corpse fiend. Alright, let's go back. See if any of this was good. See. Nope, 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 nope. Yes, alright, there we go. That's what doing gear in Diablo 4 is. Arrow go up, me put on. Me put on gear. Yeah, Diablo 2 has tormented souls in hell you can just kick over for gold. I think that's fun. Alright. Speaking Druidic. Come on, wolves. Oh, my sound is messed up. Father was a persistent teacher. Go this way. There'll be a little demonic markings. This looks pretty cool. It's like a Cannibal Corpse cover, but gray with no color. Look, even the blood is gray. Everything is gray. Look how gray it is. There is no color in this game. Not even writing story, the dialogue is so unnecessarily rough, yeah. I can't help but think the backlash from Diablo 3's art style was fueled by the simple transition from 2D to 3D. Yeah, I think so. I think Diablo 3's art style looks pretty good, I think. It doesn't look like Disney cartoon to me. Yeah, we can't hear his dialogue for some reason. Oh, here we go. Alright. Anything good? Nope, 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 nope. Wait. Yeah, the gloves are worse than the blue gloves I had on. Alright, whatever. Off we go. Increased health. No kidding. Look how many hits it's taking to kill that guy. Broadsword! Yeah, in art you can use gray tones. You can use desaturation to make things pop. In fact, it's really good to use like different saturations of like a limited color tone for a lot of art. In other words, like you use lots of blues but mix them with black and white when you're painting to create different shades of blue-gray to make the make the whole thing kind of stick together. The composite, just basically make the image harmonious. But that's not what they're doing. It's just like they turn down the saturation. Like there is technically green grass right here, but it's green in the way that like
They look to the cathedral.
I don't know. It's not really green. Like there's green all over this picture, but it's so desaturated it just looks gray. It's not mixed with black. It's mixed with black and white. So it just becomes like a fluh. I haven't seen blood this gray since Mortal Kombat on the SNES. This is definitely the most gray game I've played since Fallout 3. But Fallout 3 was more brown. That was the problem. That's one of the things I liked about Fallout New Vegas is it had some actual color in the game, like the original Fallout games did. There were things that were colorful, and I liked that. When everything's gray, everything blends together. Every single zone looks like every other zone. Like, this looks the same as everything else. Nice lag there. Always fun when you get lag. Oh, right, yes, we got this village here. Kill the risen remains. And the other ghosts here. Alright. Talk to this guy. Return to the worms. May they rest in peace. There's supposed to be audible dialogue here, but for whatever reason it's not working because there's a bug in the game. No big deal. Abilities. Wolves. Wolves do other things. So like tornadoes. Maybe want more tornadoes. I think I'm actually going to take tornadoes now, and we'll get another wolf upgrade here in a minute. Fallout 3's Endless Brown is the reason I don't desire to play it despite being told how good it is. Fallout 4, plenty of color, so I ended up playing and enjoying it. There you go. I don't think Fallout 4 is bad. I never really got far in it. I got a little bored of it. I'm sure it's a fine game. But yeah, it does have color. Fallout 3... During the aughts, there was this trend to try to make everything super realistic, and that meant gray for whatever reason. Like, the world is full of gray. Like, I don't see any gray in my world. My world is full of green and blue. Alright, we gotta go to either side here. Let's go left first. Ah, the stinging swarms, which daze you, like in World of Warcraft. Lovely. There we go. We have this like weird little druidic pagan area that we're doing here. It's kind of funny to me because I find it Everything's in such contrast. Like, it's just a mix of different things. It's like druids and also bad church, and there's also crusaders, and necromancers can be good guys. You know, it's just like such a weird mix of things. I find it funny. I mean, like, as far as aping Christianity, they do it pretty hard here. Like, the bad guy's named Lilith, which, you know, if we were all medieval people, we would know who Lilith was. Supposedly Adam's first wife, who became the mother of demons, you know. Which way am I going? I guess I go down and around. Tornadoes do a ton of damage. Alright, now we get to go back to Yorin. Before Yorin gets turned into Ashtaroth. They do the old Diablo 2, shove the soul stone in his forehead. It's fun. Little spoilers here. Come, wolves. Come on, wolves. Come on, wolfies. Alright.
Haven't had food to last us weeks. Sharpen my blade too, in case any spirits get too close.
You taught her well.
Not so much to learn from someone like me. The truth is, she's the reason I've lasted so long.
Wade Roberts is playing Vanilla WoW right now. It really is beautiful. It has a great aesthetic sense to it. Darnassus is wonderful. I wish it was more popular when the game was current. But no one hung out in Darnassus, but it's probably my favorite city.
Maybe we should go with him, Dad.
I have a lot of nostalgia for Darnassus.
Well, the ale would be welcome.
Lilith is not in the Bible. Lilith is a traditional or apocryphal character. And she's bad. She's the mother of demons.
I will. Thank you.
So, but like I said, if we were medieval, we would know who that was, because there's lots of interaction with kind of apocryphal or like non-canon sources in the medieval period. Things like the proto-gospel of James, and the Gospel of Mary, which is really Gnostic but was still around. Book of Enoch was popular. So we'd have a lot of, you know. Be a little more knowledge of this kind of more, slightly more obscure Christian lore. And of post or pre-Protestant ways of thinking about this stuff. Oh, the Proto-Evangelion of James, that's it. And we got to kill all these guys. Well, these guys are, there's a lot of them. I think there's something else out here I gotta kill too. Yeah, this guy. Ouch. Where's all this gold coming from? Is there a treasure goblin? They brought back treasure goblins. Hooray. Come here, treasure goblin. Can I kill the treasure goblin? A treasure goblin! He dropped garbage! No me gusta! Treasure goblin. You silly treasure goblin. What a waste of my time that treasure goblin was. He dropped some pants though. He left his pants! Alright, where do I go now? Up there, alright. Was there anything good? The pants were good. The chest was good. Alright, let's go.
Have you seen the signs as I have?
Oh yeah, Erida. We get to talk to her, fight her.
Hell is coming, and my people are not ready to face it. Not yet. But you are already strong.
Alright,
Come forward.
here we go. Is this her? Alright, we get to fight her real quick. J.K. Rowling stole most of her ideas from Terry Pratchett. I think she actually stole them from Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman wrote like a wizarding guy who looked like Harry Potter back in the early 90s. So you could look that up. That's kind of a fun one.
Dead are killing our people as we speak.
Years ago, History Channel had a show called Banned from the Bible. It made it sound salacious, like they were giving you some secret knowledge everyone didn't want you to know about. Like the church didn't have these things sitting around and people actually read them, but they knew it wasn't canon. There was an understanding there was a difference between the Holy Scriptures and things that weren't that. And why did the church canonize certain books and not others? Like, the modern obsession with this kind of shows that people aren't really willing to do the research as to what the church fathers were thinking about at the time. You know?
And what did you give her?
And you can look at things like the Gospel of Thomas and you look at it and you're like, I don't really see how this needs to be in the Bible. It's not revealing anything special. But it was a thing that Gnostics used, and you know, uncertain authorship, all the things that you wouldn't want with the Bible. You know? Alright, Erida. Alright, yeah, we gotta kill some of these guys here. Wraiths. Are you? Erida? Well, here you are. There's my wolves. I think I skipped a whole Wraith phase somehow by doing a lot of damage. No. There we go. Boss destroyed. Well, the Book of Enoch, the reason it wasn't put into the Bible is, first of all, we know that Enoch didn't write it.
What did you give Lilith?
But it wasn't in the Septuagint. It only exists extant in Ethiopian. And it's actually part of the Ethiopian Bible. This is really cool about the Book of Enoch. So it's part of the canon of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. And it's extant in Ethiopian. But it's really good to look at, and it's a really interesting book because it captures a lot of the traditions that existed in the 2nd century BC regarding the angels, the Nephilim, intercession of angels, which of course is important for the intercession of the saints, the communion of the saints. All of those traditions, it captures them as a snapshot. So it's cool to look at the Book of Enoch, within, whatever good spiritual discipline you have. What is this skull? Stronghold. Okay, cool. Can I transport back here? All right, let's go. So, it's a really interesting book to look at. With, under proper spiritual direction.
She is at peace now, I hope.
I just saw an interesting stat on the Barbenheimer weekend. Barbie is running ahead in Texas and Oppenheimer is running ahead in California. It's kind of the opposite of what you expect. I don't know. Because Barbie looks entertaining, I kind of expect that from Texas.
I must tell Father what has happened. What Lilith has done. We cannot let her destroy anything else.
Yeah, AI DMs, people have said this before, like, would you have an AI DM? It's like, hell yeah, I would. I'd totally have an AI DM. That sounds awesome. Because then you don't have to do, you really don't have to bother doing anything that is, no one has to be the DM. Everybody can be the player. Which makes for a fun gaming session, in my opinion. Find a is there a blacksmith in town? Yes, up here. Let's see here. Let's do wolves here. Wolves are good. All items. Bye-bye. I think I'm going to go do this one next. We'll go on a long walk here. Versus this one. This one's pretty cool. This one, it's like a little druid quest. You have a guy who's like been impaled on a tree, like crucified on a tree by Lilith, and he's got blood pouring out. It's kind of a weird, like Antichrist inversion thing. It's very horrific. But I think we'll do the other one because I'm just interested in that one. Lots of lag spikes. I was reading a translation of the Greek Septuagint. Stopped a few months ago. Should get back into it. Go to Numbers. Numbers is boring. I think the prophets are actually more difficult than Numbers and Deuteronomy. Now that I think the prophets are more challenging, personally. You may, everybody has a different experience, but personally, I think that the prophets end up being a more challenging experience than Numbers and Deuteronomy. I thought Numbers and Deuteronomy would be harder, but it turns out the prophets are challenging because there's so much in there, and a lot of it's hard to understand, and it's apocalypse and prophetic and just tough. Where does this go? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Somewhere in here. There we go. Run away from the bloodletters. I don't know what these druidic spirit offerings do, but I kind of want to pick them up. So I'm picking them up. I think I am. I think I am. I think I am. Yeah, all right. Ooh, shoot. Oh, we got a little boss guy here. Running through the Blood Clan. The Blood Clan base. There we go. We never drop any good loot, you know? Just like never happens. Which way am I going? I need to go up. This way. It's kind of gross seeing in Barbie at the beginning where they're smashing their dolls like 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's probably an allegory for abortion. I don't know about that. It's probably just like a feminist message like, baby dolls bad. You know? But it probably is disturbing because you can think of like, you know, abortion. Yeah, you're right. It probably could be an abortion allegory. That's a little bit disturbing to have that. What is this? Oh no, is this an event? What am I doing here? Wildwood the Unascended. No. If he's giving me too much trouble, I'm just going to kill him. Oh, I see. I have to kill these banshees. Apparently I have a battle pass? I thought I had to pay for the battle pass. What am I doing here? I am wasting time. Though I do think games, you know, hey, it's a game. It's probably a waste of time, right? Ah. Banshees. This is like a... The Unascended has escaped. What a waste of my time. Pick up the potion. What a waste of time. What was I thinking? Hey look, it's more of the same enemies we've been seeing since the beginning. There's like, not only are all the zones the same, like all the enemies are also the same. It's very silly after a while. Ow. I guess I'll open the chest. Garbage! One day I'll open a chest that doesn't have garbage in this game. Outlaws Grove. Apparently I have some stuff unlocked here. Battle Pass. And I'm going all the complete wrong way. I need to go the other way to get to the slightly brown gray zone. Do you think there will be an explosion in technology when advanced AI are able to invent new technology on their own? I think no. I don't think that scenario is likely, personally. What I do think, though, is that I think AI can be used to accelerate, you know, the creation of technology. But the idea that the AI is going to automatically come up with better technology than we could is not... I think that's kind of sci-fi thinking. A lot of sci-fi thinking right now. You know what's going to happen when AI becomes sentient? We don't know what sentience is, so that's a rather impossible question to answer. You know, first we have to figure out what it means to be conscious. And near as I could tell, the psychological establishment is trying to push for the idea that there's no such thing as consciousness. In which case, yeah, it'd be easy to say an AI is conscious because there's no... If there's no such thing as consciousness, you simply, you know, have a thing which people think is real, and that would be enough. It would pass the Turing test. All right, so now we're in the dry steppes, which is another gray zone, but this time the grass is not green. As you can see in this zone, the gray grass is a little bit more yellow gray instead of green gray. Very nice. It's a very nice zone. All these cows. We're in the cow level. Hey, look, we have more marauders and bandits, but they're slightly different. They have fire instead of something else. Music does a lot of work here. I think the music has good moods to it. Almost there. Almost at Ked Bardu. Hello, beast. Alright, I will kill you. Superior and Rawhide. Okay. Like the AI toaster from Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf is great. Is crazy. Did you accidentally activate the battle pass? Apparently Blizzard doesn't have a confirmation button. People are just accidentally activating the battle pass. Several streamers did. Maybe I did here. Season. This is a seasonal character, so... Purchase premium. Premium battle pass inactive. Well, I'm not purchasing a premium battle pass. I hate that kind of crap. I mean, I would purchase it if I was going to play this game 20 hours a week, but why on earth would I do that? I would barely publish enough books to say I'm a writer. Let me play Diablo for 20 hours a week. Alright, there he is. He's drunk. Drunk Lorath. Well, he's still breathing.
That old man there, he claims to be Horadrim, but he drinks like monks.
He came to town days ago, looking for a servant of the demon Lilith, a pale man. It seems he didn't like what he found. Who are you?
He and I met in the Fractured Peaks.
Enough.
He's yours. Alright, then we got a little cutscene. Red Dwarf, that was the one where like the cat evolves and like there's like a cat person. It was a British show. I haven't seen it in so long, but I remember it being really funny.
You told me to meet you here, Lorath. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Hey, it's the voice of Sid. This guy also does Sid in Final Fantasy
Hand
16.
me that bottle.
His voice sounds so abused.
I was that, obviously.
Yeah, I'm doing Diablo 4 this week because I just kind of want to. I want to play more of it before I drop my review, because I would hate for someone to say you didn't play enough of this game to really give it a negative review. And to be fair, excuse me. Whoa, that sneeze snuck up on me.
Lorath.
Woo. To be fair, there's a lot of fun to be had in Diablo 4, but it's just. It's the worst Diablo 4. It's the worst Diablo game so far.
Then you must know him.
I thought I did once. His name's Elias. He was my apprentice. He was the one who brought Lilith to Sanctuary. It's possible.
If you define consciousness as having an internal dialogue, there are people who are not conscious, who do not have internal monologues.
Figure out what he's done. And then kill him. Listen. There's a woman here someplace.
I mean, the idea of AI becoming sapient is this, can we as humans conjure up disembodied spirits to serve us? It's kind of necromantic,
Wasted.
It's weird to think about. Like, why would you want to do that? Like, why would you want it to be conscious? Why would you try to program it to be conscious? Well, I want it to think like a person, but, a person that is my slave. Okay, that's interesting.
No words.
I get it.
Same as yesterday and the day before. But I have something else. Rumor has it a pale man.
Yeah, but there are many, labor-saving technologies we invent that don't dehumanize. You know what I mean? Like, you have action figures. You wouldn't buy an action figure of Luke Skywalker and say, this put a sculptor out of business. You know what I mean? Like, no one sculpted this statue for me, therefore it's bad. But we do the same thing with AI. Like, AI wrote a piece of code. We're taking jobs away from programmers. Or AI did a piece of art. We're taking jobs away from artists. Especially when it's something that's not intended to even... It's something for your own pleasure, like a toy.
Spoke of a rumor. A pale man seen near the canyons.
The canyons. Why didn't you say so? We got it once.
Oh, yeah. Me, I don't like this game. Defender, you didn't play enough. Me, I still don't like this game. Defender, you didn't play enough. Me, I finished it. Defender, why did you finish it if you didn't like it?
You seem reliable. That's fine. Did not prove.
How do people without internal monologues read? I don't know. Like, read silently? That's a good question. I couldn't tell you, but somehow they do. But they're not sitting there thinking, they're not sitting there talking to themselves all the time. Alright, let's go do a couple of these quests. What's this one? Let's go to the... Which one do you want to go? Let's go to this one first. Whittling Sanity. Meet Laurent in the canyon. Luke Skywalker put about 1 million Imperial soldiers out of business permanently. The Wayward Plains. Everything is your level, if you notice. Spirit boons. Alright, what are we gonna get here? More wolves? Alright, we'll do that. Wolves. Ulver. The Gnostic stuff hasn't been covered in any other review. I made a video of it. Maybe I'll just put it out. I never published it because I felt like I didn't say enough, and I didn't say it well enough.
Slaughtered by demons, now much is plain. But none was summoned here. Search the canyons.
Would Elias have summoned these demons?
Easily. And stay close to me.
Alright, we're looking for Elias. He's a bad guy. Bile fiends. Ooh, a succubus. Flesh threshers. Spirit offerings. There's not a big reason to pick up gold, by the way, because if you just get to a higher level, there's so much more gold that drops, it will more than make up for all the crap you didn't pick up because you were busy running directly to the objective to level. Like, the most efficient thing is to just go as quickly as possible to do everything and skip the as many mobs as you can. Just skip as much stuff as you can. I think I got something here. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna fight a little boss, mini boss here. Notice, like, this story is on, like, chapter 3 already, and we're still no closer to figuring out what Lilith wants. And this sort of, like, vague idea. There we go. Killed him. Alright. Okay. Off we go. Far too easy. These demons were vermin. I'd expect more of a from a mage of Elias's ability. I wish, like, my pets would get the gold here. You need a whispering key. Alright. I guess I don't have a whispering key. Whatever. Go through. I'm gonna find some things. It's gonna open up the door. Why would I let?
Is he insane, you mean? This was an exceptional mage. He would plunge through fire and shite.
Succubi used to be attractive. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Whatever truth he has found in Earth, he can say why.
Yeah, people invest. The patch drama made me realize people invest way too much of their life into this. In the original Diablo and Diablo 2, the church in those games was never referenced as evil or hypocritical, but rather once noble institutions corrupted by the primeval. Sounds relevant today.
The scholars all wrote to the abbot seeking a man.
All right.
The scholars all they devote their lives.
Help Laura search for clues. There we go.
Master Elias called
Imbar's
me.
journal.
I had trouble with my words, so I showed him my carvings. He said he could see my pain in them.
What is this?
Of a lonely man. Who had
Higher
learned
item
to
power, but nothing
hate
else to
the
do.
world. And yet, our mother, Lilith, found me beautiful. He said there are others like me as well. And together, we will build the new world.
What is the clue we gotta find here? Here he goes. He's finally moving off. Okay. Bloody stain. Oh, I could get ravens here. Can I have like 2 companions? Let's find out.
Burning hells. We're too late. Elias is long gone. This Gembar is our summoner.
How can you be certain?
Isn't it obvious?
Such story, such wow. Skip, skip, skip. The story's so bad. But all of this is a side quest. Like it's not going to tell us anything about what Lilith wants. You only even remotely get that in the final few quests. You know. Versus Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 were really epic. I mean, it should have gone like a novel, you know. You know, have an event sequence where things lead one thing to another. That's ideal, but there's no real sense of an event sequence in Diablo 4 at all. It feels more like MMO quests, like they're just kind of loosely related.
Your hatred fills my heart. I cannot stop my hands from working.
Alright, here we go. A little cutscene here. There's supposed to be dialogue playing during a lot of this, by the way. Imbar.
Did Master Elias send
The Napoleon movie looks like it'll be good too. Ridley Scott is the GOAT director, although I still believe they should keep him out of the editing bay. A great Ridley Scott movie to watch sometime is called The Duelists. It has Harvey Keitel and the other name's slipping my mind. Really good historical movie. He's definitely capable of doing great things with that. don't think the extra ravens is actually working. I don't have a raven. I was kind of hoping for wolves and ravens, but it's not working here. Mammon! Look at all these, like, healing potions here. You just don't stand on stuff on the ground, and you can get through most of these fights without any problems. So, you do have flocks of ravens here that are cool. There we go. Look at all the potions on the ground. Crazy. Oh, Elias, how vicious you've become. I ended up playing Fire Emblem Three Houses again. For like the 6th time. Really appreciate everything in that game as you work towards something meaningful. Nothing feels like a waste. I liked it. I enjoyed the gameplay. I wish they had done this story a little bit better in the 3rd act. You have to kind of play multiple routes to understand exactly what's going on. And they don't really set up Edelgard's motivations as well as they could have, I think. It's probably the weakest route, but overall, I think the gameplay's great and good aesthetics, really fun game to play. And you do end up liking most of the characters. Ridley Scott has Joaquin Phoenix portraying an emperor in 2 of his films, Gladiator and now Napoleon. Gladiator was fun. Critics didn't like it, but I liked it. But it had that 2000s kind of dark gray. Everything was dark gray kind of feel there. Head back to town. Let's see. Anything good? 219. What do I have here? Pair. 216. Alright. Oh, helm. And a yellow kilt. Cool. Look, it's a cool druid helm. It looks fun. Here. No, absolutely no reason to ever buy armor in this game. Let's go over here. Off we go. There's vases out in the world I can knock over. Always fun. Those adders. Do I have... Oh, I do have another ability point. Do I have one down here? Okay, I can do something down here, like trample. Apparently I have an item. What do we get here? Rabies. Oh, that looks like fun. Alright, let's do rabies here. Rabies looks like fun. The ravens aren't... I'm not seeing a raven over my head. So... I'm not sure the Raven is doing anything. Whatever. Yeah, I'd say HBO's Rome was good. It was created by John Milius, the director of Conan the Barbarian. One of his creations. Travel to the monastery. Here's the monastery. Hey. Well, cool. A gray monastery with a gray roof and gray statues and gray books and gray trees. It's a nice gray monastery. There we go. Off we go. Into the monastery. Is anyone here? Yeah, monsters. You know, you can see a lot of the obviously Christian imagery. This is just a Celtic cross missing some stuff. You know, or you know what I mean? Like
not to be disturbed for the remainder of our meeting.
Lock the doors! What about the others? Diablo! Do as I say!
do as I say. I think you have to search the bodies for stuff. Oh, here's a chest. Might be getting ahead of myself, though. Very important to rifle through the pockets of the dead. Magically sealed or mechanically sealed. And we gotta search the bodies again, I think. Search the bodies. Here's the Crusader skull. I miss teleport, like my mage teleport ability from Diablo 3 to let me just skip up to different levels. I didn't expect Blizzard to do an exact clone of Diablo 3's gameplay, but then I remember the innovators have long since departed the company. This is what's funny is people are like, oh, it's so much better than Diablo 3. I'm like, it's a, you know, it's like a total conversion mod for Diablo 3. Like, what are you talking about? It plays like a Diablo 3 expansion. It's exactly the same gameplay. Exactly. But with the Battle Pass. So that you feel compelled to play even more than would be wise. We had to figure out how to monetize like players' times better. I think that was important to like the strategy of the company. All right, another hat. Not a Haradrim, not a man, a devil. guys have a lot of health here. Here's some votive candles. I wonder who you're praying for with those votive candles. Any thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3? I have no thoughts. I don't care about it, so,
It's all right.
you know.
I've cleared the way out. Can you walk?
There is no way out. Knowledge of names must never leave.
They don't even know how real classical statues were painted in their prime, that's true.
To the night hereafter. We must protect the archive.
Alright, off we go. Sacristy. Well, this guy's like level 20 here. No wonder things are slightly more difficult, man. These guys are like higher level. Didn't scale to my level. I haven't done enough side quests. I think I'm supposed to go this way. A tide box. Alright, so and we gotta just click on these 4 little things and then we say a chant and everything's good. I'm gonna run out of, there we go, we leveled up. Woo! Alright. And then we'll do this one over here. Oh, this guy's an elite. Oops. Dreadful, wrathful phantom. Man, let's keep getting hit by that. There we go. Alright, we'll go back over this way.
From morning, my eyes were open.
Also, your point about AI DMs, that would be terrible. Everyone knows the real fun in D&D is coming up with ways to screw over the DM's plans to force them to change on the spot. Well, real classic Dungeons and Dragons, you're really playing the game. You know, it's not a...
Hereafter.
You know, the rule Nazi thing basically makes it so that you're creating automatic dungeons, like you're creating random dungeons. There's tables and stuff for all of that. It's really cool. Abbott, we need to leave now.
I deserve to burn. He is going to summon El Lesser Evil. He took all he needed. And then my scholars, he murdered them.
Yep, and seeing the early gameplay footage of Diablo 4 immediately reminded me of Diablo 3. I thought the exact same thing. I hadn't really paid attention much, but it's okay. I like Diablo 3. I don't mind it that much, but what I mind is people acting like, you know, Diablo 3 was like bad. Diablo 3 was pretty good. Granted, it got better as they went along. You know what I mean? Oops. One button. This guy's a lot of health, man. There we go. Eidolon of Orbe. Like, and here's another thing about this game that I don't care for is how zoomed in it is. Like, I can't even see the boss. If you just stand a little far away from the boss, you can't see him at all. Like, it kind of sucks. See what I mean? Oh, that's what he does with the bone walls. Ravens even those bone walls pretty good though. Way over in the corner, huh? There he goes.
Human knowledge shall be shared among the children of Lilith,
That's what we got here.
and no secret shall be kept from them.
Item power. There we go.
And learned thieves of the world shall perish in their regret.
Go. All right. Okay. And I'm gonna go to Sanctuary. Get out of here and talk to what's his name again? Is there a particular reason you're not interested in BG3, Baldur's Gate 3? You seem to like RPGs because it's exclusively turn-based. I like the first two. I just don't care. I don't pay attention to gaming news, you know. And what, like, it's been forever since they made it. Nobody from the original is involved, as far as I know. It looks pretty woke. You know, they have like genital customization, but not face customization because they want you to play Zuggos, I guess.
What did he say?
Scrolls.
It just doesn't look. It just doesn't look particularly interesting to me.
Means the son of lesser evil.
You know.
In what? Which bloody one? Where? Oh, we don't know, of course. Elias could cover the steps in blood, but a lesser.
Blizzard has been bashed for their scandals and game quality for years, but D4 hits and all the fanboys come crawling, hoping the game isn't an Activision zombie. Awkward dichotomy play. Oh, sure, and people are going to defend the crap out of it. And they are, you know, because they want to play it. And it's okay if you want to play the game, but, like, I really wish people didn't have this sort of extreme loyalty to things. Ooh, look at this guy. He looks cool.
Elias's work.
There's some cool design in here. It's just all very gray.
The answer lies in the start.
Clipping's pretty bad, but,
Delicate.
you know.
A soft noble's hand.
It's like pulling stuff out of his tummy.
Elias would have to feed this thing with more than fancy boots.
That's someone's son.
Or daughter.
We should burn demons.
This is wrong.
This medallion bears the crest of the ruler of the royal house of Gumran.
Former ruler.
Obviously.
That's enough, old man. The dead deserve respect.
The dead deserve nothing when the living are in danger. Now Gumran has a new ruler, and we have Elias to thank for it.
The dead may be worthless to you, but that medallion could bring peace to those still mourning.
Fine. If we are to find Elias, then we must also travel to Gumran. Meet me there, and be swift about it.
There were streamers that got strikes for streaming the last panel from Hell because it contained sex scenes. Yeah. You could customize your genitals in... what was the game? Cyberpunk 2077. Alright, let's walk to that next spot. Again, none of this is bringing us any closer to, like, Lilith. There's no, you know, there's no movement towards the greater conflict here. In Diablo 3, you felt like you were fighting, like, the lesser evils and stuff all the way to the end. Yeah. You never see your genitals unless you want to see them in Cyberpunk. But there is, like, almost pornographic sex scenes in it. So it's really not for kids. Here's a chest with garbage in it, as always. Where do I need to go? Guessing up and around this way? I'm not sure. Yeah, let's We want to go like this, the shortest route. Let's see, I want to go down or up and around. We'll go down for now. Hey, some skeletons, but they're not called skeletons, they're called horrors. So they count as a different mob because they're red. This palette is red, slightly red.
Greetings.
Beetlejuice says greetings. Good to meet you, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. No, this is not the way. More of these little imps. Sealed Oxen Tribe cache. I don't know. Did it spawn some skeletons? Maybe. I don't even think I spent all my ability points here. I have an ability point. What should I spend it on? What can I have here? Boulder. I had rabies. I think more tornadoes is good. More basic skill, because you use that a lot, and more tornadoes. All right. Off we go. See. Yeah, looks like. Oh, we'll stop by this town up here. Crude Ruby. Fate's Retreat. Level 18 plus. Uh-oh. These guys are slightly higher level than me. Here we go. The alpha was fun, but the beta seemed like a bit step back. I'm thinking the game will be a miss on release. That's how these things go occasionally. Wait, can I get down from here? Aha. Why can't I go through here? Uh-huh. Do I have to kill a little boss here? This looks like a boss room. Some dead people and a door. Or do I have to like find some other way into the city? They're not showing me. Looks like I could get down there, but it won't let me. Alright, so what's the problem? Let's walk around another way. Maybe. Yeah, it's like Cannibal Corpse cover, but gray. Do you like the item pop in? That's kind of fun. It's just like, this is like Horrorville, just piles of bodies. Maybe I could get in down there? I don't know. And a pale tongue. I haven't seen these guys before. That's cool. Skull pile. Whoa! That was fun. He's kind of a new guy there. This Gorger. There we go. Can't believe it made me like walk all the way around here. Need the gold. What am I doing? Being stupid. All the money and time, and it's this ugly. Alright, let's go up. I can't believe they made me walk all the way around. When there was clearly an open door for me to walk through there. Some dudes here. All right. Waypoint unlocked. I'm here, Laurent. Oh, I see. He's overlooking this like fallen city too.
Pity you didn't bring an army or siege work.
Elias is here.
Gone to the palace, no doubt. Behind the high wall with the gates barred behind him. We can't get through.
The graphical equivalent of the brown note.
It's a liar.
This game was announced back in 2019. That's right.
How long has Oyun been missing?
4 years.
Trapped in there with those butchers? She may be the only one left who knows of the tunnel.
If she's still alive, if this tunnel exists at all.
You don't trust me.
Of course not. You're a thief. Useful.
Couldn't even get that the tooltips right. Diablo 3 had easy to parse green text and all that jazz, intuitively designed. Diablo 4 tooltips are horrible spreadsheets of random crap. It's not just that, but the affixes on the gear are retarded in this game. They're completely stupid. We'll look at them in a second here. The loot system is really bad. I don't know what they were thinking. Because it's Diablo 3, which is just throwaway loot until you start getting legendaries, which is the only time you actually ever care about loot. But like we look here, let's look at what we have here. Let's look at the helm. 12 intelligence. Okay. What does intelligence do? Okay, let's look over here. Oh, I don't have a lot of intelligence. That must do a lot. You know. We have. Here we go. 12 intelligence, 1.2% total armor, cold resistance. All right, so nice if I meet a cold guy. 3 poison damage if I'm doing poison damage. 10 dexterity. While injured, your potion also restores 10% resource. That's weird. Plus 2% healing received. Wow, 2%. 1 rank of boulder if I wanted to use boulder. 2.5 damage reduction. I guess the damage reduction's good. We can understand that. Attacks reduce evades cooldown by 0.6 seconds. Okay. Int, spirit cost reduction, shadow resistance. 6 damage to slowed enemies. What else is here? You know, resistance to all elements, that's okay. Some of this stuff's okay, but there's like damage reduction from close enemies. 7% damage to distant enemies, to stunned enemies. There's ones that's like you take less damage when you're crowd controlled. Like 3 life on kill. Like the stats are so random. You think you would get stats that are like, you know, strength, do more damage, but it's just like really random stuff that doesn't, you know, it increases your power, but not in an obvious and trackable way for a random person. And especially with all this throwaway loot, it's not like I'm going to, like, you know, change my build up in order to take advantage of, like, the 2% poison damage. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I better do a poison build because I got a blue item with 2% poison damage on it. I turned them all to skeletons. Executioner. Here we go. Alright, we leveled up again. Alright, we can do no, we can't. Not yet. See, they put the skills from Diablo 3 in this tree, so you think like that you're making choices, but you're not. It's the same as Diablo 3. Like, really the same. Do I want better wolves? I might take a point off of the ravens here. Oops. No. Right click them. Put them in wolves. And tornadoes. No. Earth spike. There's tornadoes. I have the tornado one filled out. Yeah. There we go. Boom. Tornadoes are really good, so we'll use them. Jumping. We're doing parkour. Here we go. No, no, no. A villager.
I don't know. The cannibals are rounding everyone up. Killing, feasting. But a few, they drive away. The prisons, I heard. Why would these monsters keep anyone alive?
Oh, I didn't even look at the loot name. Like, the loot names are stupid because all the loot is throwaway. Venomous leather doublet. Knight's torturer. Like, none of this is memorable, really. I mean, this kind of looks okay, but it's not till you get any legendary. It's just like Diablo 3. The items are irrelevant until you get to the point where you're using legendaries on everything. That's the only point at which loot becomes even worth mentioning. Go through the gates here. Dead people always got a rifle through their bodies. There we go. think I took off the ravens because I wasn't seeing the raven. Just seeing the wolves, you know. Thought maybe I could have like two animal companions. But it's not working. Let's see. But I like the Raven's AoE, so I may bring that back. We'll see. Let's go this way. Off we go. Yeah, Diablo 2 had some funky names. I really, let's be fair with the loot. The loot is garbage and not worth talking about. Like, this is good, pretty cool. I don't know what this is trying to say here with this guy with the halo with the slaves and the weird, like, Mesopotamian things, but it looks cool. The gear really only matters at the end game. Otherwise, it's another leveling mechanic. Like, the gear just gets better as you get higher level. So it's like the hidden part of the level. As silly as that sounds, that's the way it is. All right. Prison key. Unlock the door. Who's in here? Who's there? It sounds all bad. So many sound issues.
You're not him. Who are you? The chopping. It stopped and I thought he was coming from you next.
Your friend Zelaya sent me.
She's still here?
You will see her soon. We need to get through the market.
I know another way. It's safer. The old prison wing. It was sealed off years ago after an earthquake.
All right. Yes, we can break through. I'm a druid. Yes, break through the walls. No, I thought it'd be safe this way. We'll get through. Stay close. This is just the prison level from Diablo 3. A little higher resolution, you know. Oh, this guy's fun. Ooh, a grave bloody corpse fiend. Waller. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like World of Warcraft. If something has higher item power, you just put it on. Like, you know, if it has higher item power, you wear it. If it doesn't, you get rid of it. Not hard to figure out. Not a lot of subtlety to it. I'm also pretty good at like guessing what direction to go in. You know? Like you're always going up and to the right. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of figure out what direction you're supposed to go in for these. So like I didn't really have to explore a lot of that level to find the way out. You just got out of Oppenheimer. It's incredibly boring. The dialogue is inaudible. I believe that. Yeah, I think it's okay to have jokey items. Like silly items, I think are fine. In fact, like good. I'm not sure what this thing is. It's weird looking, whatever it is. Alright, here we go. Zolaya!
Oh, you've come back to me. You waited. Kept yourself in danger. Oh, you stubborn cow.
Yeah, AI generated loot. I think an AI would do a better job, actually.
Anywhere away from
It might actually be able to favor like useful stats that a player might want.
Yeah, well, you're a lucky fool, I'll give you that.
Laura here sent this one to find you. They need your help getting into the palace.
There's an old escape tunnel. The entrance is in caverns nearby. Behind an alcove marked with the Overseer's cross. Twin sabers joined at the hilt. Press the left palm to open the way.
3-hour movie that should have been no longer than 90 minutes if it was written better. Oh, now we get to do caves. One of the things, like I'm critical of the plot of Diablo 4 because it's like endless side quests just sending you to different places. But that's kind of the point of a video game plot, is to just kind of shuffle you through the various set pieces of the game.
I think
So,
that was the nurtured source.
you know.
That's not tough.
My printer started making noise randomly. We shall see. Alright, I have another quest right there, right? I have to walk over to it. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna see how far I can get before. Yeah, the story in this game is an absolute slog. You know, it is boring and it goes nowhere. There's no narrative, and it would be. I would like it better. You know, I get that the point of a video game plot is to shuffle you through the various set pieces. I would like that better if the set pieces were worth looking at.
While you were in the city,
If they weren't boring gray garbage over and over again.
which of the lesser evils he means to summon? What he did to go round is a clue.
He has drowned it in blood.
Maybe his goal is likely Juriel or Andariel.
Oh, there's some very good ideas. It has a great. It really hooks you with the opening.
Feeds off physical pain and Andariel revels in mental and emotional torment.
Yeah, basically Gauntlet.
Whichever one it is, if Elias succeeds, many more cities will share Gulran's fate. Our only hope is he hasn't completed the summoning yet.
Yeah, it gets really boring. Let's check out my abilities. I might. There, let's do abilities. I might want to. Where's the ravens? One raven flies above you and periodically attacks your enemies for 40 damage. Can I have more than one companion? Alright, I'm gonna try this again here. Like, I don't... There's no raven above me, though. Here, I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, it looks like looks like it's a bug where like the ravens don't show up. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright. Abilities. I like the Raven's active ability. Is there another spell to add in? No, I don't want to. Let's do more tornadoes. Okay. Off we go through these. Oh, see, these are gray, but with a very slightly chartreuse. What is the Lapis Sword? Is it better than what I have? Yes. Okay. Yeah, alright, whatever. Numbers go up. I put it on. More ghouls. We've seen these guys before. Very throwaway. It's definitely some good gross out stuff, you know. Thundering plague maggots. Oh, these are minion maggots. This guy keeps disappearing. Young. Teleporter. Plague maggot young. Oh, it's the young of the plague maggot. Got a totem. Is it good? No. Nope. Druidic Spirit Offering. I think I need that for Druid Seasonal Quest or something. Old escape tunnel.
Twin sabers, just as Oyu described.
This poor sod spent all their lives getting hyped up to defend some random cave. Then wham! Dead. I wish this game had secret passages. I wish there were more secret passages in games like this. Like, you know, find an open door. Oh, see.
Why do we stay here? Me more prey, more meat.
He's a big boy. I don't mind no story in a game, by the way. I think I'm fine with just emergent stuff. That's D&D. D&D was completely emergent. The Maiden of Anguish. That's the lesser evil he means to summon. Heaven help us. Heaven won't help you. That's the other thing. Heaven doesn't give a crap about the people in the world in this game. They're like, no. You guys can't come here, and we don't care about you. Unless even Tyrael is missing from this game. You know. There we go. Just keep going up. Up the stairs we go. That's my family getting home. The dogs love to make a ruckus, as if I care. Up and to the right. Look, I can hit these guys through the wall. Mother's chosen. Yeah, I'll just keep going this way. It's not that many enemies in this dungeon here. Oops. Tunic, I'm not even going to pick it up. Alright, here we go. Mother's Judgment. Man, this guy's hitting me hard. I might actually die here. Alright, we got some these here. Oh, I see. It's just hard to see the little stuff on the ground here. That's why. Maybe take it a little slower, you know? Here we go. I guess those ranged attacks. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Alright, we got this. Crowd controlled. There we go. Let's see what we got. It's kind of funny. Yeah. I got one piece of loot that was better. Okay. Ward of Sealing. I think I'll probably call it after this little level here. Yeah, you can't hear the dialogue here. Some kind of bug in the program. He must be planning to summon Andariel somewhere else, but he did his research here. Look around. There might be some clues that could tell us where the ritual will take place. What have you
I
found?
recognize many of these books. Must have stolen them from their Roderick vault.
Old worn map. At the center of this map is the Temple of the Primes, an ancient complex buried beneath Mount Sivo. Notes are crawled across the paper. They appear to be calculations for how much of Gulran's populace would be needed to excavate the temple. Cool looking armor. Let's see what else we got here. Sketches of 3 shrines, each depicting one of the primevals, Diablo, Baal, and Mephisto. Below these drawings, Elias is written, "Only the blessed can open the way." That's a cool mirror. I like how his cache just didn't have anything good in it. At all. It's like a bunch of garbage. That's too bad. Yeah, there's got to be something in here. Right? Something I missed. Break the desks. Break the tables. Break everything. Break this harp.
I recognize many of these books.
Do I try to go up the stairs? I don't remember. Thank you, David, for playing the game I never would have. It's not a terrible game, but it's definitely the worst Diablo game. Oh, there it is.
Prophecy is
On his desk, of course.
before my eyes. I was right to act on it. When the prime evils come, they will find no easy prey. We will be ready.
Andara, chained to the heart of Gulran. Her evil will not stay contained here. It will drown the land in suffering.
This is beyond madness.
Quite the opposite. Elias' mind is clear for once. When I knew him, he was searching for purpose. I couldn't give him one, and so he found it in Lilith. I didn't stop him.
I let him
I let
become
him
this.
become this.
Now is our chance to make it right. Before things get even worse.
Yes. We have
Yeah, Diablo 3 at launch had a lot of problems, but this is literally just Diablo 3, like after they fixed everything, but with different graphics. You know. All right. All right. Into the next area.
Should have killed him.
Oh, this is where I was before.
We must.
Yeah, this is where I was like, why can't I go through there? All right. Where is he now? All right. So I think I'm gonna call it here. What level am I? Level 18. I think I'm gonna call it here, guys, and I will talk to you all next time. That's my family's home. So I appreciate everybody hanging out with me and playing this game. I will have like a more full review coming, and hopefully people will. Hopefully it'll be controversial enough that like people will pay attention. And the reason I say controversial enough is like I get that there's people who will rabidly defend anything Blizzard does to the death. They just love Blizzard. I know people that they only play Blizzard games. Like, they don't play any game that's not a Blizzard game. And so you're not going to have like a good view of what's out there if you're only playing Blizzard games and basically wanting people to only play the things that you're playing. But unfortunately, Diablo 4, like, it's not that there's no fun in Diablo 4. It's actually, there's a lot of fun to have in Diablo 4. But it's just a really underwhelming and not a very stimulating experience compared to Diablo 3. It's very bland looking. The story's bad and it's all over the place. No sense of narrative. The loot is awful, obviously, but it was in Diablo 3 as well. It's all the gameplay from Diablo 3 just kind of pasted over, but I like the aesthetics a lot less than Diablo 3. So I'm left feeling like I like parts of this because it's like Diablo 3, which I thought was good, at least after the first expansion. But there's a lot more of it that's just boring. And I guess one of the reasons I hadn't played it more in order to do a review is like I just can't really work up a lot of energy to play and review the game because it's just not very interesting to play. I don't want to, like, there's too much friction. It takes too long to get in the game and play and do stuff. Lots of problems when it launched where you would get disconnected and end up back in town, having to do everything all over again, which is annoying. But really, it's just like, it's not very interesting compared to like Final Fantasy 16, which has better graphics, better story, better gameplay, more interesting everything. Comparatively, right? You could play Path of Exile instead of this game. There's lots of stuff you could do instead of Diablo 4. So you guys have seen it. You've seen my playthrough of it. I can't play it on a harder difficulty that would really challenge me or reward me until I get through like the campaign. So I need to finish that off. And I just kind of held off, like, I'll just play during the season, So anyway, I appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will have more stuff coming, hopefully. And yeah, that'll be... How do I restore the chat? There we go. That'll be it. Get a free book for joining my mailing list. I'll go ahead and link that. Yeah, see, I gave a negative review to Legend of Zelda, what was it? Breath of the Wild. Not a terribly negative review. It's a game that I realized, kind of like this game, the best way to play the game is to run past all the enemies. It's just to not play the game. So I realized it was a very boring open world experience compared to other things. I think the charm of it wore off, and when it wore off, I wasn't interested in playing it anymore. But people really wanted that game to be great. I'm like, you could try other games that are like that. You'll probably find them more interesting. Tears of the Kingdom at least has like the stick stuff to other stuff mechanic, Gary's mod tacked onto it, which makes it, I think, more fun. But it's just as empty, unfortunately. So there's obviously a market for those kinds of games that like big empty worlds to play around in, and that's great if that's you. For a single player experience, I really don't like that. I would, if it was a giant MMO game with PvP like Dark Age of Camelot, that'd be a lot more fun. But it's not Dark Age of Camelot, and it's not World of Warcraft, where it's a world full of things that reward you. It's just an empty world where the best way to play is just to avoid everything as much as you can. Get your hearts up and then go kill Ganon, I guess. Anyway, that's it. Oh, Sound Engraver, hope you're having a good day. So, just hate posting on Diablo 4. And it's good to see the chat agree with me that, like, I was playing this game and everyone's just, I don't want to be vulgar, but like they're on their knees for this game, loving this game. And I'm like, am I crazy? Am I the crazy one that thinks this game is just not very good? It's just a mediocre game. It's like, I have to be the crazy one to think that this is a mediocre game. But like, the more I interact with people, the more the people that even like Diablo 4, they're like, it's just, the campaign's really bad. I expect the end game to be as fun as Diablo 3 in a lot of ways, in that it's about getting those legendaries and having cool, unique builds that let you crank up the difficulty and do way harder challenges. That stuff I expect to be just fine if I can find friends to play with me. But you know, that the fact that they make you do like 20 hours plus of campaign that's really boring kind of sucks. So anyway, have a great one, guys. I'll see you all next time. Later.